the Bringing Business to Retail podcast, and today we're going to talk all about what happens with goods that you just can't sell. Welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast, where I, Selena Knight, share strategies, interview retail revolutionaries, and delve into the minds of e-commerce experts to help you grow a profitable, independent retail or e-commerce business. If you're stuck in a rut, or if you feel like business is way harder than it should be, or you've overachieved all of the things that you've set out to and are wondering what to do next, or how do I even make this better? I know that you're going to love today's episode. If you're stuck in a rut, feel like business is way harder than it should be, or you've achieved all of the things that you set out to and are wondering what next, or how do I even make this better, then I know that you're going to love today's episode. Hey there, and welcome to today's episode that I'm recording for you live from Inside Retail Live down in Melbourne, Australia. I've had a fantastic time just hearing about what's happening in retail right now. I gave a presentation yesterday on how to build a brand that chain stores can't compete with, and I was watching today this amazing presentation by a lovely lady called Yasmin, who works at a company, or who founded a company called the world's biggest garage sale. And it's really interesting because she's fixing a problem that we have as retailers so often, which is, what do we do with the stock that just doesn't move? And I'm pretty impressed with what the world's biggest garage sale is doing. So I wanted to share with you today Yasmin's presentation. Now, first of all, thanks for the team at Inside Retail Live for letting me share this with you. But additionally, just wanted to give you a heads up that this is recorded live, so the audio is not as fantastic as it would be if we were in a studio. But if you've never been to a retail conference before, or maybe you haven't been for a while, this will give you a really good insight as to just what happens and why you should get out from behind the computer or get away from your store and actually go and meet people, go and see what's happening in the industry. Because, in fact, this was actually brought up by another speaker today, that too many companies are just so involved in their own business that a lot of times they just miss opportunities and they fall behind in the market because they're not staying on top of what is happening. Now, at a conference like this, there's lots of stuff here that is at what we call enterprise level, so it's what the chain stores are doing. But the thing is, if you come to a conference like this, or any type of marketing or retail or customer conference, any of those sorts of things, you get inspiration. And the inspiration is what you need to get to take back into your business. And maybe it might be something completely different, but you get that inspiration from seeing what other companies are doing well in their businesses. And one of the speakers this morning was just saying he goes to the US, like I do, quite a few times a year to see what's happening in the US markets. And he gets questioned all the time, like, why would you want to go and see a company that have put 100 iPads into a store to take orders? And he's like, well, maybe we won't put 100 iPads in the store, but maybe we'll put one. So just going out there and seeing what other people are doing and just think, how will that benefit my customer? How will that make me a better experience? How will that improve my systems? How will that make me more money? Because if you are just sitting behind your computer or sitting in your shop and you're not getting out and about and you're not meeting new people and you're not keeping track of what's happening in the industry, you will be left behind. But this is a lovely feel-good episode today, and it really is fixing a solution that is prevalent in the retail market. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. Live from Inside Retail Live in Melbourne, Australia, this is Yasmin from the world's biggest garage sale.
So without further ado, I would like to welcome our next speaker to the stage, Yasmin Grigaliunas, also known as the G-Dog, the Grig Dog. Welcome up to the stage. Yes, yeah, welcome. Sorry, I thought I could read out your bio, but I thought it was much more fun to talk to you. Thank you. First of all, shoes. Yes. They're awesome.
They're actually from our own circular economy pop-up shop in Brisbane. We rescued a few thousand pairs of shoes that were returned goods. They didn't fit the original shopper, and so instead of letting them go to waste, waste. We put them in this beautiful empty shoe store in the Winter Garden, and we ended up selling over 2,000 pairs, raising a ton of money for charity. And I got these gorgeous little numbers, and it's all one off, and they go, of course, perfectly with my brand.
Did you have any shoes and Frey shoes like that?
These are shoes of Frey.
Perfect.
Aren't they gorgeous?
So you've had a pretty awesome career. You're the CEO and co-founder of the world's biggest garage sale, and you are on a mission to turn Australia's circular economy aspirations into reality whilst providing social good.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Oh, look, I'll share the story a little in my presentation, but we literally just started to try and hold a garage sale to clear out what we called our dormant goods, because we were trying to raise money without asking people for money, because charity's tough, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of great causes out there, and it's really tough to pull out your $20 or $50 for all of these wonderful things, but we all have, let's say, $43 billion collectively worth of stuff laying around our homes. So we thought we'd have a garage sale. We did 15 grand in a day, and I was like, man, imagine if I did this full time. Surely we could change the world.
Yeah.
So, a couple of years ago, I quit my job, went all in, no plan B, no backup plan either, lots of fear and lots of embracing the unknown. But the only way an organisation like ours grows is through our network and connectedness and collaboration. So I'm here today, and I might be the speaker, but there's probably at least 100 people behind the organisation who have helped us get to where we are today.
That's awesome. And I hear you are a TEDx speaker as well. How cool is that?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to use my time to tell you this story. It sounds really glamorous, but leading into being asked to speak at TEDx, we had our world's biggest garage sale coming up, and I was like, oh my god, it's so intense. I don't know that I can do them the honour. TEDx is very polished. You need to actually know your script word for word, and I'm not that type of speaker.
I heard about somebody as a speaker for all their notes on their hands.
Well, you can't. You're supposed to articulate it perfectly, right? It's like acting.
Yes.
And of course, because it's so well, it's an incredible brand. You've got to do it. It's honour. But and it's a sad story, but it's a good story. I was booked in December to speak, and my mum passed away at the end of October, and then 2 days later my husband's dad passed away. So we just lost two parents. We had our garage sale to then activate 2 weeks later, and then it was my mum's birthday after losing her, and then the Lord Mayor of Brisbane came to visit us on her birthday. And I had all this crazy stuff happening. Then my husband broke his leg, and he was in hospital for a significant period of time. And it was literally pouring. He was in hospital the day before TEDx, and I pulled out. I said, I can't do this. I haven't got the time. My husband's crippled right now. He's having an operation today. And they said to me on the Friday, and I'm literally getting goosebumps. They said, Yas, you don't have to know your script. Just tell your story. We really want you on stage. And I was literally at a pitch event that night on the Friday after being in an accelerator, and we had to pitch to this room full of investors who actually cared about, and it's changed a lot since then, but cared about tech companies that have all these amazing algorithms and fantastic IP that are doing brilliant work empowering organisations. We were like moving second-hand goods around for social good. So we had to pitch to a room full of investors who didn't really quite understand what we were trying to achieve, and they didn't know what sustainable development goals were. It was foreign to them. So I did that on the Friday, and then on the Saturday I was like, my husband and his whole family flew from New Zealand to Australia to honour his life on the Saturday, and I was meant to speak the next day. And I said to Lee, I'm pulling out. He said, you are not pulling out. If you pull out of that TEDx, I will divorce you. And I went, okay. And then literally 2 minutes before I was on stage, I was in the toilets crying. I just could not do it.
And you're a professional, you pulled it together.
The TEDx leader, Juanita Wheeler, who I have to give a good shout out to, came in, cracked the whip at me and said, you get out there and get on stage. And look, it probably wasn't my best work, but I did it. And going through the fear was probably the thing I'm most proud of.
Oh, no,
so it's really cool.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm really excited to hear your talk is called Evolution of Retail, Collab of the Second-Hand Economy.
Yes.
Which is exactly what you do. So I'm really excited to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, So you've heard a little bit about me, and one thing you'll learn today is I really prefer to tell stories and share my knowledge rather than be in here and kind of tell you what to do. But what I do hope that you can achieve from today, and something that does get evoked from each of you, is that you go away and think, what can I do in my business to actually transform my company so that we are embracing resale for growth in your own organisations. Now some of you might go away and think, oh my gosh, it's just not for us, and that's okay. Others might go, oh my goodness, I got to pick up the phone and call Yas and find out how we can work together, and that's okay too. And some of you might go, oh my god, I have some better ideas, and that's okay too. But what I'd really like to encourage is action. I love to share knowledge, but I actually am more passionate about seeing people grow and do something different when they hear speakers. So not just me today, but everyone that gets to speak, try and take something away and then actually go and execute. So I am from the world's biggest garage sale, and the evolution of retail and resale is a really interesting one, and it dates back significantly. But what I want to do today is share our story and how we ended up accidentally creating a company that is a real collaborative organisation, bringing together our traditional resale markets like op shops and charity stores, which we're not. Our company is not a charity, and we made a really strong decision to not be a charity, because why would we enter a market that's already got an embedded ecosystem of stores across the country and the world, and we didn't need to come in and compete with that. What we wanted to do is actually help. How can we help? By making money and donating it to organisations like those? But more importantly, how can we help and actually increase the quality of goods coming into the resale market? So you're not just dropping off your dirty clothes at a charity bin and not walking into an op shop and shopping because it's not your thing. How do we transform this through a collaborative approach? Not where a winner takes all and tries to dominate a market and platform, but where we work together so that everybody wins. So I'm going to show you a little story. This is literally the sign that I managed to talk the football club, or bowls club actually, into in Brisbane's Wavell Heights. When I told my family I was going to have a garage sale and I thought we might raise around $2,000 for charity, they thought I was a nutter, especially when I called it the world's biggest garage sale, because clearly we weren't the world's biggest garage sale. It was just a really cool name. So everybody donated all their amazing, beautiful, brand new, high quality goods that were laying dormant in their homes. So immediately my business brain was going, why are you giving me all this new stuff? Why aren't you selling it? Why aren't you donating it? Why is it just sitting there dormant? And I am ashamed to say that I too had a 4-bedroom house full of stuff that I wasn't using. We all do, right? Close your eyes and look at your garage now. Maybe your cupboard. 60% of our wardrobe, ladies, we don't touch. I mean, it's not okay, but it's value and valuable. So we wanted to tap into that market. So I'm going to share a little video so that it can tell the story a bit more and do it collaboratively, and then we'll talk after that.
Plan B. So how much money can we make is great, but how many millions of litres of water are we saving? How many CO2 emissions are we offsetting through our events? I'm Yasmin from the world's biggest garage sale. So the world's biggest garage sale is effectively a big community event, and we originally started in order to raise money for charity and solve the donor fatigue problem. And what we realised after our second event, which grew 4 times from the first event, was that we weren't just about raising funds for charity through our events, but we were also about sustainability and impact for the economy. Typically most households, if they throw something in the bin, it ends up in landfill. Well, we were wanting to have this purpose around diversion of landfill, and so we really started to talk about waste differently. We started to see monstrous trucks with product that was donated by the community that we call dormant goods. And the reason we call it dormant is it's that product that people don't give to charity because they think it's too good, but they're not selling it because the barrier to selling it online or somewhere else is just so hard. And so we knew in our event that we had some sustainability impact to focus on. How do we solve the challenge of sustainability globally? And while we were just in Brisbane and wanted to have impact in Brisbane, we always had our eye on, is this scalable for wider impact than just our own community? It's not just always about raising money. It's actually about diverting landfill, and diverting landfill at epic proportions. There's a much bigger picture that is around global sustainability. That truly is what our organisation is about.
we present is because it shows the evolution of our organisation. So community events are fantastic. More than 10,000 people came and shopped in that 11,000 square metre warehouse that you saw. And then we generated over $150,000 in a single day with 2 million kilograms of product donated by the community. We were trying to activate a change of mindset around resale, and we were trying to do it with social conscience at the core. People give us their products for free because they want to do good. They don't have time to put it on Gumtree or eBay or another platform. They can't always drop it into a retail store because there's not always an ability for retailers to take goods back. So they were really trying to go, well, what do I do? How can I do it? And I want to see what happens to my product. And so I should just share briefly that before I quit my job, so we did 3 garage sales before over 3 years, and I would just take a month off my job. I had a great boss. I took a month off work, donate my time, rally the community, bring everyone together. And we did 15 grand, then 60 grand, then 90 grand at each of those events. And I realised that it needed to be more, that we were really just kind of patching and hacking together in a part-time, casual hobby way what we felt was a movement around circular economy in retail. And we started to understand the strategies and the global marketplace and look into organisations for inspiration like ThredUp and other non-online retailers doing the same sorts of things. I mean, Oxfam in the UK does incredible work for a circular economy, and the high quality of goods that are coming through is not what we see here in Australia. It's actually shameful, some of the stuff that we leave at charity stores and bins. So for us, we felt we had a multi-stakeholder capability to start to do heaps of things for the marketplace, right? We bring people together and we educate them about circular economy. They now buy more sustainable products and more consciously from organisations like yours that care about where the products are coming from. And they're not going and just walking through a shopping centre and buying without thinking, you know, who are the brands that I love? Who are the people telling me the stories about the work that they're doing? And I don't know who all the retailers in the room are today, but I can certainly assure you with the growth of sustainability, circular economy, and conversation around sustainable development goals with retailers, this is a story we all need to tell better. Because the work you do is incredible, and there is so much social conscience in retail that I feel like the resale market and retail can work together for sustained growth. We've all seen the stats, right? $500 billion in US loss globally. This is an opportunity for us all. The circular economy itself is worth $4.5 trillion. I mean, we've just hacked a few things together and been able to divert millions of kilos as an organisation in one location. And we're now scaling to do significant resource recovery work with some of Australia's biggest retailers. Can they take back a broken chair and put it on the floor of their store without it impacting maybe the customer experience? This particular retailer doesn't want to take that chair back and put it on the floor. So our organisation now recovers those resources in the order of many thousands of tonnes of product a year, and we put them back into the market consciously, and then we share that information with that retailer. We help build their brand and the sustainable practices through the work that we do through a circular economy initiative. We've seen more stats for those of you that up the numbers. Global idle assets exceeds $4 trillion. That warehouse we were in was an idle asset. Empty, 11,000 square metres. For me, it was a no-brainer that we could borrow it for a month to be able to build our event. Again, collaboration. Thanks to the Goodman Group for that very kind donation of that space for 30 days. Obviously, dead inventory. I mean, can you look at your warehouse now, maybe the back stock room, somewhere else in your organisation where you've got these idle assets and products just sitting there? How can organisations like ours help you make money from them? How can we all get them back into the economy? And if we don't and can't, for some reason, get them back into the economy, where in the circular economy do they sit? I'll share a quick story. We have a logistics company in Queensland have some old, what they thought was plastic coffee pods, unused, sitting in the warehouse for about a year. And they ended up ringing us after not being able to find a waste channel for them. And we learned that they weren't plastic, that they were actually compostable material. And they had 3 tonnes of this product that was actually going to go in a skip bin. That's what the the warehouse space, get it out fast. I mean, that's business. You need the space, you've got to do that. Now, we're not going to put their face up on a dartboard and throw a dart at them because they were going to throw 3 tonne of product into landfill. Instead, our organisation worked with them. We do what's called consulting, not consulting. Consulting is where we help you do the work and actually execute for you, because often your organisation doesn't have the capabilities to execute. So we bring together collaboration so that we can tell a better story. And that 3 tonne of product is going to land, is going to a compostable company. It's actually all going, all the cardboard's being recovered, put back into the economy, the plastic's being recovered, put back into the economy, and then the products themselves will be composted, and they'll take 8 weeks to break down and create new soil. So for us, it's stories like that that we're really passionate about executing on and helping organisations, whether it's a saleable product or not, actually bring great stories to more circular economy and to tell those stories. And I'm sure that most of you know, I'm not telling you something that you don't know, with resale growing 21 times faster in the apparel range than retail over the next 5 years. Like, how can we work together to help you take advantage of this opportunity? So these new business models underpinning circular economy initiatives are tested, they're agile, they're messy. I always say to people, our organisation's like a little tugboat. Like, we can move around and do really fast moving manoeuvres. Organisations like some of yours, you're the big, beautiful, incredible Titanic. And we want to help work together to help you steer around the iceberg that might be there in the future that you yet can't see. So how can organisations like ours and others, there's plenty of them out there, and I'm always happy to share the leaders in this field in circular economy who are doing incredible work to help you. But how can we work together, learn together, run an agile project where we can get executable, measurable, sustainable, positive, lucrative for you outcomes? These are the questions that we don't know the answers to, but we're certainly keen to find out. So one thing we did, as I mentioned before with these beautiful shoes, is a retail Main Street pop-up. So we knew that garage sales worked. Tens of thousands of people would flock. We tried to put some of these gorgeous shoes in one of our garage sales, but let's just say your garage sale customer persona differs slightly from your designer shoe customer persona. So while we sold a lot of shoes at that garage sale, it was fantastic to share the story, it was really not the right market for it. So what we did is we moved into a dormant, empty shoe store in Brisbane's Winter Garden, thanks to ISPT and JLL for providing us with the space. We were able to uplift a pop-up shop for 3 months, selling over 2,000 pairs of these shoes. So I'm going to show you a quick video to tell that story. Well, our store is all about a circular economy pop-up shop, which basically means we take dormant or underutilised resources that sit in boxes and in warehouses, and we pop it up. We're really passionate about integrating circular economy retail into general retail, and so we have all of these shoes of prey, designer shoes, one-off designs, sitting in our warehouse, and we thought the best way to get them out back into the economy is to mobilise them and put them into literally an empty shoe store. We literally have thousands of pairs of one-off designer shoes. No 2 pairs of shoes in our store are the same. You truly do need to come in to, if the shoe fits, to see whether or not the shoe fits. And if it does fit, then we'd like you to purchase it, knowing that you are making a positive impact for people and planet, with profits going for purpose. Every single shoe that you purchase, for every pair, we actually donate a percentage of the cost of the price of the shoes that you pay to charity, and we're really excited to support Good 360 Australia, a fellow circular economy organisation. They're a charity that supports charities across the whole country of Australia.
It's awesome. I've found so many of these shoes, and I think that it'll be great for my daughter who's got bigger feet too. And I love how the whole initiative of giving back to the community as well.
So just got these from If the Shoe Fits. They were amazing. Yeah, what such a wonderful initiative. All the shoes are amazing. Such bright colours, and they can do whatever you want really. Help you with whatever occasion you need.
And for us, we want to live up to the brand and the opportunity to be the sustainable business here. And we're super excited to have Brisbane as our hometown, but we plan to take this all over the country and the world. say hello. So we did not take Shoes of Prey. You'll notice no Shoes of Prey branding on our store. That was on purpose. We never put it in any of our media, and we didn't actually take these shoes back after the collapse of Shoes of Prey. We had these in our inventory about a year prior to the collapse of Shoes of Prey, and these were literally the return shoes. So none of this stock was new. It had been tried on. Some of them had embossed names on the inside of the shoes for people's weddings, marriage proposals. There was a story behind every shoe. And what we knew is that unless we could put it on the foot of somebody so they had their own Cinderella moment, that these shoes would continue to sit idle forever. Can't sell them online. It's not efficient to take a photo of 3,000 pairs of unique shoes and then send them out again, possibly for them to not fit. Every single shoe is priced at $49. We felt that it was important to have a single price and you had to come in to purchase them. Some of the unintended amazing things that happened is in the Winter Garden, we attracted a new shopper to our store that wouldn't otherwise have potentially come to the Winter Garden. We were, in particular, really blown away by the women who have size 41 to 44 shoes and the vacancy in the market for them to buy mainstream products. We had many people spending 3 or 4 hours in our store trying on hundreds of pairs of shoes in a single sitting. One lady came in 12 times, bought $1,200 worth of shoes. Now for her, she obviously really likes to shop, right? And then she would go to all the other stores in the Winter Garden, and it was great that we had all the other stores coming to us and saying, you guys are bringing new customers in, this is amazing. So we weren't just there for ourselves, we were there for the success of everybody there. We would refer people through to the Shoes 9 West, we're just down the road. Hey, we don't have something for you, but go down and see the ladies in 9 West, they're amazing. And it was really important to us that we weren't this imposter coming in to try and take market. What we actually went in with the strategy to do was to bring new customers. We even, and I won't show you the video today, but it's on our YouTube channel if you want to watch it, we even had a drag night because we had size up to 48, right? And the drag queens absolutely loved us. So we had to have a drag night because we had about 600 pairs of shoes from size 44 to 49. And we were able to have this most amazing wine and cheese night with Brisbane's drag queens. And it was the most fun. We did it after hours, the space closed down, and it was quite the party. But what it did again is we got to see stories, and I remember one particular man. He had just recently come out, and I could see he was really shy at this event. So I went up and talked to him, and he said, you know, I've never put on women's shoes, and I really want to, so I've come here tonight because I feel safe. And like, we were all like, oh my God, there's tears. We were all trying not to cry. And our organisation, of course, in addition to making a donation to charity, we've since been able to expand our team, and we now have some more retail team members on our team working with us to help grow a more circular economy integrated approach. It's really important to us to also acknowledge the partners. I talked about a lot of collaboration. We can't do what we do without working together. It's crucial and critical. Cisco put Cisco Meraki into our store so we could understand hotspots and heat maps and how many people came through the door. Global Payments supported us with our FPOS machines and allowed us to have a payment platform that was tap and go. Winter Garden, of course, and ISPT provided us with the space. Good 360 were our charity partner, and we were so fortunate as previous winners of the Lord Mayor's Business Awards in Brisbane. We were able to attract some pretty amazing people to the store, including Assistant Minister Trevor Evans. He is obviously the waste portfolio for Australia, and he made a trip to our store as well. Oh, I couldn't talk him into putting some shoes on, but a lot of guys did, and it was fantastic. Here's a few of the stats for those of you that like numbers. I mean, it's pretty cool. 1,700 kilos of product rescued from landfill. The boxes would have filled probably the entire side of this particular room in a warehouse, just sitting idle, gathering dust. Some of those shoes dated back to 2015. We also provided shoes to young females who were having their formals who couldn't afford shoes. So we gave a lot of shoes away as well. We felt that it was really important to start to really impact beyond just trying to integrate resale into retail. So what's next for us? Like, where do we go from integrated retail? We sell a little bit online, we get products back, we really do feel feel that the customer experience is important when you can talk to your customers. Every person that walked through that door we talked with, right? And we had to go out the back and find new shoes, and we could start to learn and feel and see what customers really wanted. And while we believe that online and offline work in harmony together, our customers in this particular project wanted the experience of coming in store. So we don't, as a what I call a re-commerce retailer is what we call ourselves, we don't have a linear way to do things. When we see an opportunity, when something is available, we actually like to just get our hands dirty and work out what we can do. So our next resource recovery pilot came from a problem a retailer had. The return stock was crippling their back-end systems in their stores because there were pallets and lots of big items and stuff that they couldn't put somewhere and it wouldn't fit in a skip bin, and where does it go if it's broken, and what do we do with this stuff that's not perfect? And so they approached us and said, can you guys work with us? Can you do this? And of course we said yes, because we think we can do anything, because we want to learn, we want to help evolve, and we wanted to help develop systems for them. And their choice was for us to actually take the product. So instead of them processing it in store, putting it back on the floor, putting it online, doing anything else that they have the capabilities to do with their organisation, they're on ground, they're online, they're an amazing retailer, they said, actually, can we just give it to you? We don't want it. We can't process it. It diverts our operations and our business, but we do not want it going to landfill. Some stores would put it in a skip bin, others would, I don't know, someone probably took it home. Who knows? Like, it was a very big system challenge. And through transparency and trust and a collaborative approach, we've now got a field warehouse with a lot of their product that would have otherwise ended up somewhere, but not in the resale market. And we've now got a project called Retail Rescue coming up. We're opening up our warehouse to, again, bring a customer experience so that people can buy scratched or dented and imperfect product that still has value, significant value. And the retailers wanting to do the right thing, wanting to be responsible, wanting to improve their already very impressive sustainability initiatives and commitments. So we've brought together a team of people, and we're looking at it, we're repairing it. Some stuff can't be repaired. Where does it go? What do we do? There's resource recovery available in everything we do. And if you're not already familiar with the world's to-do list, we call it, the Sustainable Development Goals, I wear a pin. And the reason I wear the pin is it's almost a bit of a filter. If people know what it is, then they're our people. Right? This is important. How do we all collectively work towards these? And if you don't know what these are, please reach out to me, because I have no doubt that your organisation is already delivering on many of these goals. And you need to tell that story. It's crucial, because the people walking through your stores are buying from you online, they care about this. The generations younger than me, who probably frequent shopping centres and online stores more than I do, they've got a disposable income, they're using Afterpay, they're in the market, they're buying lots of stuff. These are your customers. If they know that you're working towards the global goals, they're going to be loyal and more valuable customers for you and help your organisation grow. So a couple of more examples, and we like to say, you can see the little hashtag there, GSD in Queensland. I don't know if it happens all over the country, but in Queensland, startups and scale-ups like us, we say we're really good at GSD, which means get shit done. And I like to add in that we GSD for the SDGs, because of course they're the same letters and it sounds cool. So here's a few circular economy examples I want to leave you with today, to think about what can you do after today to start to bring a more circular economy approach and story in the retail business of your own. Is it through recycling, and what are you doing with your recycled goods? Are you looking at sharing and renting? Are you looking at integrating take backs in your own stores? To have an area in your store that allows you to put your products that are coming back into the market. How do you get those back from your customers? What are some great things that you can do to really start to demonstrate execution for a more circular economy and resale market in your own organisations? Can you repair? Can you outsource the repair? Can you partner for the repair? Because I know torn shirts, and sorry, you told me not to do that, Dwayne. Look down. This shirt actually has a hole in it, but luckily for me I can tuck it in. But like, my daughters are, teenagers, and one daughter has cut the sleeve this shirt, one of my old shirts that had holes, she's cut the sleeves off, she's like done some sort of frayed, really cool thing with it, and she wears it. It's getting used, it's still entering the market, and there's really cool ways to maintain, repair, and even renew clothing and other products through a more circular economy. Could you donate them? There's plenty of people out there that would love the product. We already have a huge network of op shops through the NAPRO network. If you don't know NAPRO, you should certainly know them, who would absolutely be willing to take products that they can integrate into their own systems and solutions, but they have products they can't integrate. And that's kind of where we fit in. We do the really messy, more difficult stuff. And the reason for that is because somebody has to do it, and we love hard. And I remember a really big pinnacle day for me back in 2015 before we were a company. And at the end of our gap, it's one of the biggest questions we get. What do you do with all the stuff you don't sell at your events? We donate it, of course. So at the end of our 2015 garage sale, we had a bunch of stuff that had already been sorted, cleaned, merchandised, sat on the floor. It just didn't sell because we're a one-day event, once a year in each place that we uplift. And so we, of course, we call them harvesters, our charity partners, and Vinnie's, Salvo's, Lifeline, and others. They love us because they bring their truck in, 2 people on the truck, and they fill their truck with everything they want and need from products we've already curated. We save them operational hours, allowing them to have better impact, and we get products back into the market that they wouldn't have otherwise got. And so they say, can you have more of these? The stuff you get at your garage sales and it's left over at the end is actually better than the stuff we get dumped at our stores. So for us, we're helping drive a more circular resale economy. We all have our place in the market, and collaboration, I believe, is one of the biggest keys to us all growing. So again, circular economy, if you're not familiar with the term, a couple of years ago, you might have looked like a nutter if you talked about it. I know I did, and many people would go, circular what? And I'd be, oh my gosh, do you not know? But of course we all know now, circular economy is about ensuring that something's not linear. We don't take, we don't make, we don't dispose. And we know that that's not the mindset now of organisations like yours. When we're taking products or we're taking resources from our land, could we actually take resources from somewhere else? What can we do when we're recovering all these materials? Are materials that I'm recovering valuable to you and your organisation? Because if they are, then we should work together to make sure that there's more circulation of products and materials so that they're staying in the market. And one really cool project I'm going to share before we wrap up is we get one of the hardest products in the resale market that has very limited value are office chairs. And of course, I mean, let's look at any CBD. You know how many millions of office chairs are out there? Some are good, some are nice, some are ugly, some don't work, the chairs, the wheels break, the arms fall off. But there's actually a huge market of ergonomically, mechanically perfect chairs out there. And they get given to us. Now in the resale market, they're realistically, if we do a no-brainer price on them, which means you look at it, you see it, you buy it. We're not trying to go like, oh my God, it was a $600 chair, it's worth $200. It's probably worth $20, maybe. But if we enlist an Indigenous artist to recover that chair that we've paid for the license of their art, and we turn the chair into a beautiful piece of material, with their material, and we renew the chair, then of course, big businesses in the city want those chairs in their offices. They want the story. They pay a hell of a lot more than $20 for that product. We've just turned a chair that's operational and perfect, but not so pretty, into something beautiful that actually helps fund, usually a lady, and her work that she's doing in a community somewhere remotely in Australia, so that we can help, not give her a handout, but help her give her a hand up. Help her and her family support themselves by us using their products to renew ours. This is what collaboration looks like. And that's just one idea. I always get goosebumps with that story because it's a really cool story. Would you pay $20 for that chair? No way, that's way too cheap. You would pay a lot more, especially if it's mechanically perfect, ergonomic, and wonderful in design. So think about, in your own organisations, look at your products differently. Look at your stores differently. Wonder how you could possibly do some renewing in your own organisations. And talk to people that do it. pick up the phone, connect with me on LinkedIn. I didn't have time to do that turn on thing, but there's like only one Yasmin Grigaliunas in the world. So if you Google me or look me up, you will find me. Just don't look back too far, because you might not like some of what you see. I'm very authentic and share everything. So, we need to work together. I want to leave you with that thought today, because when we work together, we can actually be the change that we need to see. And we don't have to listen and hear about negative stories about why retail are terrible because blah, blah, blah. I ignore all those tweets and stories, and I don't listen to it, because we know that retail is the biggest employer in our country. Work that retail does supports our economy, and it's crucial that we come together to integrate resale into retail so that it becomes norm, and that we don't think about it as that dirty old op shop you go to only when you have a fancy dress party to attend. So I'm going to leave you with that today and let you know that I welcome, that I welcome contacts. Please reach out to me. I don't have all the answers, but I know that we can both and all learn more if we come together and collaborate for a more circular economy globally. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. You can find all of the show notes over at selinaknight.com. If you found something that you heard today particularly useful, I'd love it if you could leave me a review on iTunes or Stitcher. And of course, feel free to share this episode with someone that you think could benefit by listening to it. Want more retail biz strategies? You can watch the Bringing Business to Retail TV show, where each week I'll answer a question or provide you with a simple, actionable retail biz strategy that you can implement in your business right away. If you have a question or a guest, I'd love to hear from you. Drop my team an email at podcast@selinaknight.com, and I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great week.